Hey guys, we're back again with another one of Hasegawa's 1/12 scale figure kits. This time we're going to be looking at their auto companion kit. Let's open her on up and take a look. Now, as always, Hasegawa does do a very nice job of packing these kits so that they don't get damaged in transit, which for delicate pieces like resin is an absolute must. Now, I've already gone ahead and opened the bag up. Let's take a look at various parts. So, first up, we've got our main torso part. Starting with the face, the sculpting on this particular kit is very nicely done. Very lifelike proportions, and I can really find no fault there, save for maybe just a little bit of poor casting here on the ear. But even then, no real complaint. I also found minimal mold lines here on her center torso art, but other than that, pretty good. Just a tiny bit of flashing there on the hair, but that'll easily clean up. Continuing on with the skirt. Smart choice with going with this type of gating for the parts. That's going to make clean up a lot easier. But otherwise, nicely done. I did a little dry fitting as best I could. And fortunately with the gate there, you can't fully get it to set properly. But there should be minimal to no gap between the skirt parts. Now, for the arms and legs, however, it's a different story. Again, preface this could just be I got a bad copy, but on these parts, found tremendous amounts of flashing here between the fingers and some very severe mold lines running the entire length of both these parts. And hopefully this will focus. Now, the actual sculpt of the fingers is nice. Would have preferred a hair bit more nail detail, just to make it a little more obvious, and given the nature of the subject matter, you'd expect that there. But that's a bit of a nitpick. Continuing on now to her legs and her boots. Again, we see much the same in terms of casting quality as we saw in the arms. In fact, in this case, I don't know if this will show up on camera as well. It looks like there's a bit of a shift between two molds in that they weren't perfectly aligned. So that is going to make cleanup a bit more difficult. It's not so bad as to say that parts are unusable, but it is there and it is definitely noticeable. And much as we saw in the arm parts, the mold lines on these pieces are a lot worse. That's the parts for this kit. Unfortunately, you don't get any decals for eyes or any other type of markings, so that is a bit of a disappointment. Moving on to the instruction sheet. Overall, it's a basic as basic you can get. Now, one key difference than some of the other ones we've looked at, it does give you instructions for how to do the leg assembly, with you needing to attach the legs to the back of the skirt first before you join them with the main torso part. This says to me that the connection area between these two is really tight. So I would definitely recommend dry fitting just in case, but that is something to be aware of, and I do commend Hasegawa for pointing this out. It always helps to be able to plan ahead on any build, and knowing of a potential problem area before you get to it, commend that. all the way. As far as the paint key goes, typical Hasegawa, Mr. Color choices. Overall, I would definitely say this is a recommended painting scheme, and given the nature of the material, you're pretty much open for individual interpretation. So let me get this back in her packaging and then give my closing thoughts. Just thankfully, this went together a lot easier than some of them have. So overall, at this point, Hasegawa is almost releasing these on what seems like a monthly schedule now, either with releases or with new offerings such as this one. To be honest, I think that type of schedule is now starting to take a bit of a toll, at least as far as quality control goes. Again, it could just be I got a bad kit, but overall, I do think they might want to consider slowing down a bit. I do like the fact that they continue to expand the line and support it. I just think they may want to just take a step back, slow it down a little, and make sure they're not putting out kits from bad molds. But beyond that, though, I think it's a good little kit. I do think if they had done it in 1/24th, it would have been a little better, since you typically find auto kits in that scale. Rarely you see auto kits in 1/12th. That's usually reserved for motorcycle kits, even though you could easily use this figure with such a display. Beyond that, though, for the most part, the detailing in the key parts, which is the face, is there. But some of the other details, like in the hands and on the leg parts, definitely going to need some work to clean up. So that was a look at Hasegawa's 1/12th Auto Companion Kit. A kit that, if they had gotten the quality control done right, would be darn near perfect. So, until next time.